Hello, everyone. Hello, Darko 2012 here with Global Government News, and I am covering. I guess you can consider it an article. I consider it part of the mind control disinfo uh, operation that is being carried out on humanity. And the latest update or download that the sheeple received was during the Super Bowl. And I watched the Super Bowl, but I didn't really watch it. It was kind of funny because my friends and I were joking about it because they had all their children, and we had dogs, puppies, and it was just fighting and crying and stuff getting spilled over. So long story short, I didn't exactly watch the entire game, and to be honest with you, I didn't lose any sleep over it either. I just went there mostly to hang out with friends and that. So, um, but I was just looking for the typical violence, right? Which is violence and sex, right? Sexual overtones and violence, right? But there was something that I didn't even catch. But like I said, it was because I wasn't really able to concentrate on the commercials, and I didn't see them all. But lo and behold, thank you for this article coming out. It says the Super Bowl's buzziest ads. And it says watching, and so what I'm getting at is that a lot of these, or most of these commercials were about attacking the male ego. And so I'm going to just rough through these as quick as I can, and hopefully I can squeeze this very difficult concept into 10 minutes. And I don't have to put it into a two-parter. But if I have to, well, then I will. But if you do not understand the concept of feminizing the male or the male ego, then I will just say very briefly that it is a strategy of the New World Order, the Illuminati, the Illuminous ones, the scientific dictators, um, that is part of their strategic takeover of our sovereignty as free humans in this particular part of the planet, the U.S., United States of America, our republic, to feminize the male. Now, I know feminists may get aggravated by this, but and I respect your desire to empower yourselves, and by all means do that. But the male, the typical male, is not all that bad when you think about it, right? Because when you're under attack and there's soft kill going on and there's eugenics being carried out on you, which is altering DNA, and soft kill, which is slowly killing you, not directly, really fast, slowly over time, you get something out of it, right? If you want to take over a country and you don't just right on attack it, you infiltrate it and you go behind enemy lines. You immerse yourself into that country and appear to be part of it. And a part of that is by using chemicals such as BPA, testosterone mimicking chemical that feminizes men. And I will post those articles and link them up and show them at the end of this. But the other part is psychological, which is telling the male to stand down. Stand down, men. You need to just give it up, right? Um, Resistance is futile. This is what this is, and it hits deep home with the male because right now, is a time where, as Sarah Palin says, it's a revolution, right? So they're co-opting everything, and the real revolution is brewing, and it is for the most part. Yes, it's male and female, but the individuals who are going to be taking bullets through their flesh and who are going to be doing whatever it takes when the time comes, when blood is shed, is going to be the male, right? They're going to be in militias and they're going to be doing what they can to get to get control and get our government back. I'm not saying end the government or anything like that. I'm saying we need to get our republic back, and we need the fierceness, the resistance that the male, possesses. And females, God bless you, you're more than welcome to be on the front lines when the bullets start flying. But until then, I know that this is warfare, and before the war fights, it's part of a samurai strategy to end the battle and have your enemy give up before the battle has even begun. So here we go. You have this one, and it says right here, watching Super Bowl ads is much of a tradition as the same as the game itself. During this year's contest, a few interesting trends emerged. There were commercials focusing on what it means to be a man, as well as a couple ads with too many tidy whities. Don't worry, we'll explain. A slew of big names like Coca-Cola, Budweiser, and Doritos all brought their A game, but some of the lesser-known brands were buzzier. Old celebs bring thunder. Move over, Budweiser. Snickers may have had the buzziest commercial of the day. Betty White, the former Golden Girl, plays a game of football and gets slammed to the ground for a comedic effect. Dude, a player moans, you're playing like a Betty White. The lesson, if you don't want to play like a geriatric Golden Girl, have a Snickers. No, that wasn't the real message, but um, let's see here. And then it says Doritos lay the smackdown. Doritos aired a slew of ads during the big game. The one that stood out starred the little boy who didn't like the idea of a new suitor hitting on his mom. And these are the rules, the kid says. Keep your hands off my mama and keep your hands off my Doritos. So that was another one. And you have Career Builder and Dockers. Pants. We don't need no stinking pants. We back the commercials, push the anti-pants agenda. The first for CareerBuilder.com featured a new employee surrounded by coworkers who have taken casual Fridays a bit too literally. The second for Dockers had a group of underwear-clad men signing about their missing slacks. For those who didn't think anybody wore tidy whities anymore, we present two commercials that offer disturbing proof to the contrary. And yeah, it's like who's wearing the pants, right, in the family? Like if men aren't wearing the pants anymore, then they're not men anymore, right? I'm not saying to my Scottish and English friends that your kilts don't make you manly. I'm just saying that the typical in current times is that you wear pants. The guy in the person who wears the pants in the family is the male dominant figure, so and controls the relationship. Dodge, and Flow TV. So you think you're a man? Well, think again, buddy, because the folks at Dove, Dodge, and Flow TV might disagree. The three companies each aired with an attack on manliness. Dodge's ad for its Macho Charger car featured a voiceover of a man agreeing to all the indignities that come with long-term relationships, but the ad contends that men draw the line when it comes to their cars. And yeah, that was another ad. And then the Ivory ad was pretty bad. Dove, yeah. You're a guy and you've been using regular Dove. For shame, sir. Fortunately, you're not a lost cause. Now you can be a stud and use Dove for men. And it had a catchy tune about going from boyhood to manhood and how Dove for men can help you along the way. Then it says here, Flow TV, which lets you stream shows and manly sports like football, took aim at spineless guys who hold their girlfriends' purses and get dragged around in the mall when they could be watching football. And it aspires the dudes to be more dudish. So you can see here, man, this is crazy. Jim McMahon. I'm just gonna, yeah, let's go. Let's move it here.
We have to be tough. Timmy, we're trying to tell our story here.
Sorry about that, Mom. You still worry about me, Mom?
Well, yeah, you're not nearly as tough as I am.
So there you go. Like I said, I'll post a link to that. And then I'm just showing an article that came out last November, not too long ago. Plastic chemicals feminize boys. Chemicals and plastics alter the brains of babies' boys, making them more feminine, says U.S. researchers. And, this isn't the only thing. Like I said, there's something called anti-androgens in that they found in the water supply in the UK. And I'm not sure about the U.S., but yeah, that's gender-bending substances. And then you have soy, which is in everything now, which is also mimics the estrogen. And so, I mean, that's just three things right there that I'm talking about, people. And so you can say, yeah, it's a conspiracy theory, which it technically is. It is a theory of mine. But I think it's a very solid theory, and I think it makes a lot of sense, right? Because that's how these scientific dictatorships work. They're not totally in your face, rah rah rah, police state. It's gonna be like that. But until then, they need to take out the enemy, and the primary enemy is the male. And right before this stuff kicks off, they're gonna try to do whatever they can before the battle. So I say bring it, and